Every product launch that I've been a part of follows the exact same pattern, and it's a fire drill every single time. Product comes to you 2 weeks before launch, and then you're scrambling to figure out what laws apply, whether there's anything blocking the launch, and then you have to figure out how the terms of service need to be changed in order to ship the product. The research takes days to weeks. You're trying to figure out what questions you need to ask, and usually you're spending thousands of dollars on external counsel spend to get answers back in weeks, not days. Get ready for all of that to change because we've built 2 skills to help you with product launches. The first is the Product Launch Readiness skill, which scopes every legal and regulatory requirement and tells you what's in the way of launching the product or feature. The second is the Product Launch Terms of Service Update skill. And this one takes everything from the first skill and helps you draft the actual language you need to update your terms of service. Now, work that used to cost thousands of dollars and take weeks of time can be done in a matter of minutes to hours. Let me show you how they work. I'm logged in as Monday.com, and we're going to attach the skill. Once the skill is attached, all you have to do is run it, and GCI is going to ask you the questions it needs in order to help you through the product launch. First, we're going to describe the product or feature being launched. In this instance, Monday.com is launching a new AI chatbot that's going to help with client intake. We're going to go through all these questions, giving GCAI all the information we have about the product or feature being launched. GCI is going to ask what stage of the launch you're in to help make sure that the output is tailored appropriately. In this case, we're going straight to GA. The intake questions are designed to make sure GCI understands all important elements of the launch. There's always another option down here where you can type in any specifics that may not have been captured in the pre-approved list. Once we submit the initial information, GCI is going to consider the basics of the launch and come back with more questions to make sure that it's got all of the information it needs to give us accurate and detailed output. So we can see the next set of 8 questions already popping up. One of my favorite things about this skill is how detailed the questions are. A lot of the times the questions are actually guiding me to think of things I may not have thought of. They're going to help guide you on really important aspects of the launch. So we'll go through now and answer the next round of questions. If you don't have any of the answers now, you can always take this away and come back to it because the chat's going to be saved in your chat history. And once we've got all the answers, we're ready to submit and get our output back. We've waited a few minutes and GCAI has already come back with an amazing assessment of our product launch. The first thing we get is an assessment of how ready we are to launch, and here we can see that we're ready with conditions, but our September 15th date is looking at risk because of the registration process that typically takes 2 to 4 weeks. GCI is listing out for us all of the things that may be critical blockers that we need to address first. As we can see here, GCAI has listed out all of the launch blockers that we need to address in a clear table with the domain, the finding, the risk, and the owner, so we know which teams we have to work with to get these items unblocked. We're also going to get a list of clear actions we have to take in order to move forward through these blocking areas. Next, GCI is going to actually break down the pre-launch sequencing for us so we have a rough idea of the timeline in which we need to address each of the action items. GCAI is also going to get into the specifics of the data flows, which is one of the most important things we need to consider from a regulatory and compliance perspective when we're launching a new product. Then it's going to give us an overview of the data flow assessment so we know what we need to consider in connection with this product launch. Once we have all of this initial research, GCI is going to actually give us checklists that we can take forward to each team. We're going to have a checklist like this, and because they're easily downloadable, it's something we're going to be able to easily share so that everyone is working toward the product launch as efficiently as possible. We're going to finish with a closing assessment where GCI is just going to reiterate for us the most important things we need to turn our minds to. At this point, GCI is going to offer us a few options. If we feel like we're ready to update the terms of service and we have enough information to do that, it's going to ask us if we want to attach the Product Launch Terms of Service Update skill in order to make the changes to our terms of service in connection with the launch. It's also going to offer to assist us with other key areas connected to the product launch. So you can take this away at this point, gather all the other information that you need, then come back to this chat once you're ready for the next steps. Now I've done some iterations, so GCAI has all the information that it needs to move on to the next step. All we have to do now is attach the Product Launch Terms of Service Update skill. GCAI will ask us for the link to our terms of service, And once we provide a few more key details, it's going to help us figure out what we need to do to update our terms of service in connection with this launch. We'll provide our terms of service and give any other information that may be relevant, and then we can run this. The review is done in a matter of moments, and GCAI has all the recommendations we need now in order to update our terms of service. First, we're going to get a little summary, and then we're going to get the actual recommended legal updates. I'm going to scroll down again so we can take a look at this table in full. First, it's telling us we need to update our privacy policy, and then it's giving us a rationale. We're also going to get a risk rating, which is the risk if we don't make the change that GCAI is suggesting. We get emojis to make this really easy to see at a quick glance, and then we're also going to get the actual language that GCAI is suggesting that we make to our terms of service. GCAI will also always do a really quick review of the hyperlinks contained in the document to give us a quick sense of whether there's anything else we need to pay attention to and make updates for. At this point, you can iterate with GCAI and have it either draft the red lines or make updates to the other linked policies, and then you're done. Product is ready to launch.